Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about, well, before we get into anything, I got to do a quick shout out real quick to one of our soul group members. So I need y'all to support however y'all do in your own spare time. Y'all could go into those realms of reality, but I'm just going to give out the forms of information. I need everybody to go to barnesandnoble.com, and here's a soul group member right here, Kira Ashton. Now, you spell it Keeraashton, Kira Ashton. And specifically the book Tarot Love and the Tower card and the Portal. And it's a surprise in that book, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to spoil anything. But also another book that was written by Kira Ashton you can check out as the author, Life in Retrograde. You know what I'm saying? So that's also made. So go check those out. Now we're going to get into the video right now. Now the video right here is about how to know what planets, what houses a person planets is in. Now, this is very simple, but you have to be a little bit spiritually inclined. You have to be a little bit in tune with yourself, and you have to know thyself at least a little bit, and at least be in tune with the experiences that you have in a little bit, so you can have some discernment for the spirit. And once you have a little bit of discernment from the spirit, these are things you're going to pick up first, because we all know the spirit is first. Your space, your room and idea, your thought, the spirit of you, your space in this room of opportunity, which is space. Your space within the space. Your spirit. That's your idea, your thoughts. This is you. That's your spirit. Now, what comes second is seconds, time and experience, motion, vibration, emotion, motion, and all that. That's your soul. Then that's when your soul goes into a realm of reality. And then we know what comes third, your energy. What matters. And if it matter in the etheric realm enough, it could gain enough experience from the time of the soul, and it can become vibrating at an energy level that it can become solid, and it can become physical in a physical representation. So since we know the frequency and the soul, the spirit and the soul, aka the frequency and the vibration is first, the frequency is first and the vibration is second, and the energy is third, then we know a lot of times, if you're spiritually inclined, we know what you're going to pick up first. But a lot of times, energy, that came third. So that's external. That's outside of you, people, places, and things. Or you're either outside, even outside of yourself. That's why you're able to look at yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because this is a form that's outside of your true self. So what happens here is people are so left brain and so logical, and to the point that their only spiritual inclination is to point to an external person, place, or thing, or have that represent their spiritual inclination. And a lot of times they put that first. So you're putting the last thing first. So you're not picking up, it's like a filter. So what you're supposed to be picking up first is getting filtered through what came last. So a lot of times people need a crutch and need to run towards an external person, place, or thing in order to understand what's already inside them first and second, which is the spirit and the soul. So off the back, when we talk about the houses, reason why I say you can pick up the houses first if you're a little spiritually inclined, because the first thing you're going to see is a person action, like what they're saying and their actions, and the houses don't really deal with that. But you pick these senses up first. This is the manifestation realm, the sense realm, the intuition, the psyche realm, how you could feel like you was here before, or just pick up certain senses and be right before you actually could see it physically, or it matters solidly in your life. You know what I'm saying? If you a lot of times people just looking straight towards the external. So when a person is showing you their actions and how they act, a lot of times that's the person basic planets. That's a person basic planets. So a lot of times how a person carry out their duties and obligations is their basic planets and the signs that their planets is in. But a lot of times that's the first thing you see, but you're always going to be confused because a person got many attributes, many different angles and stuff aligning with their natural planets. So you have to get a little bit more spiritually inclined, and then the first thing you're picking up is the houses. You're not really picking up. That's why they say the first thing you pick up is a person's ascendant. Because that's actually true. A person's personality, personal issues, and personal people, places, or things that's in their life. So before you even know a person's actions or reactions, aka their sun and their moon, you kind of get their personality. You kind of going to know their personal circumstances. Just like if you just got a job, right, and you meet somebody at work, you don't know the way they act and how they react to things. yet. Only thing you know is their personality. So you may know how they personally carry they self. You may know how they personally dress up, what kind of makeup she may have on. You may know how personally this guy may dress. You may what they're personally into. You may get a glimpse of their personal people, places, and things in their life. Like you may see their cell phone, or you may see a family member that may come get them, or if they have a vehicle, you may see glimpses of their personal issues, which goes into the first house again, because a lot of times that's why they need a job. So a lot of times with people at work, they kind of already in the energy and vibration to talk about their personal issues, because that's the reason they got a job in the first place. So they talk about what they're using this shit for. So it trickle down into a person that's talking about their personal issues, and that's the first thing you're going to pick up. And then a person's personality, right? But you don't necessarily know if you really like that person or not until you know their actions and their reactions, and that's going to be more into their environment. And so you see what I'm saying? You see how you see how the house is first? So it's not just with the first house, that's with every house. Because how a person try to act as a prestige, or how they try to carry their status, or how they think they're known, that's glimpses of the 10th house. 10th house. When a person try to kick some type of wisdom amongst they got going on or something like that, that's glimpses of the 9th house. So how do you know what planets is in which houses in a person's chart? These are things you're going to be able to pick up first. And this is why you get confused over what a person is showing you. Because if a person got like a planet, the sun sign and air or something like that, they may know how to talk and manipulate you into making you think what they want you to think about their actions. If a person got a moon sign and fire or water, then a lot of times their feelings, they may put out and express certain feelings that they want you to feel about them that they may not even necessarily feel themselves. You see what I'm saying? So it just goes in different dynamics. When you talk about a person's planet. So a person would have to actually tell you their signs for you to actually put together pieces and to be like, oh, that's the type of energy this person is carrying. But the first things you pick up as a spirit is going to be the houses. So let's get into like a little details. Like for an example, you might get a lot of astrologers and things like that to try to confuse you and make you think more of something than what it really is. So then when the thing actually happens, you don't know it actually happened, because you need reinference, or you need to go reinsure and listen to something else for it to happen, where this is the basic of it all. Now let's give an example for Mercury. Now this is how you tell what house a person got Mercury in. So and off the bat, now Mercury is thinking, communicating, and analyzing, right? So we know all realms of realities that falls under those frequencies. We know all the realms of realities that falls under thinking. That means a person's ideas. That's going to be attached to a person's spirit, their nerve system, their quickness a little bit, their nerve system. You know what I'm saying? So we know that's the first sense how we could pick up a person's spirit or a person's idea or frequency. You know what I'm saying? Communication. We know this is going to involve with talking, or some type of verbal, or some type of relatedness. You know what I'm saying? Or relating to something external outside of you, a person, place, or thing, or even relating to something inside of you. And then we know all the realms of realities that comes under analyzing. We know that's learning. You know what I'm saying? Trying to understand something and things of that nature. So when you put all these together, right, now this is how you know what house a person got Mercury in. Now, if you're around a person, right, and let's say they always talking about themselves, you know what I'm saying, or they always talking about their damn personal issues, or they always talking about their damn personal circumstances, or they always talking about a personal person, place, or thing in their life, to the point like you be thinking like, damn, this is personal. Why you telling me about this? And they might be looking at you like they fine with this. It's not their personal situations is the thing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at it like they have to keep a secret about it or something like that. This is thing, and they might get liked for it or they might get disliked for it, but who knows? And they always they may always criticize someone else's personality or how someone else personally carry themselves, or they're always talking about someone else's personal issues. 9 times out of 10, that person got Mercury in the first house. You know what I'm saying? Say a person always want to talk about what they got. Always want to talk about the things that they have or the things that they value, whether it's a person, place, or thing. Or a person always want to talk about what they got to offer or what they got, like whether it's a talent, or they always want to talk about what someone else needs to do, or how someone else wise, or a person or how someone else is what they didn't do practical enough, or a person who always like to talk about material, or a person who like to talk about how to get material in some type of way, or a person who like to always, or you might be around a person who always like to think and analyze about someone or something or a thing that they value. and that they always want to achieve, and it makes them better, and they feel like the way they think is having this person, place, or thing helps build their self-esteem. They feel like this will stabilize them. If you're around a person like this, 9 times out of 10 they got Mercury in Taurus. See, you see how we Mercury in the 2nd house. You see how we taking the thinking, communicating, and analyzing, and then based upon what direction this person Mercury is leading to, based upon what they're always thinking, analyzing, and communicating about, you know what I'm saying, that lets you know what house a person's, and by the end of this, I bet y'all gonna be able to know what house my Mercury is in. You know what I'm saying? So also, when we want to talk about, let's talk about, say you're around a person who always want to, say they're the type of person who always talk about their surroundings, always talking about their neighbors, always talking about what this person up the street doing, what this person down the street doing, always talking about the things that y'all familiar with. Like, y'all never want to talk about nothing new. Y'all only want to talk about familiar things and things that y'all already talked about, that's close to, you know what I'm saying, the surroundings that y'all in. And based upon the neighbors, like if it's stores or close people that, or familiar things that y'all usually always talk about, or a person who always like to bring up the same type of conversations, or the person who like the type of people who may like to bring up, they may have told you yesterday or day before yesterday the same story, and they come and bring the story up again, and you didn't got familiar with the story, but they bring it up again. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, you're talking to a person with a Mercury in the 3rd house. You know what I'm saying? Off the bat. Now, say you're around a person that's always talking about family, always talking about, and it could be a good or a bad way. They either always talking negatively about their family or other people's family, or talking positively about their family, always talking about private issues, or a lot of times, or they may come across like they always want to talk about other people's private issues, or other people's circumstances, or other people's situations, how other people's emotional stance on things. A person who always want to talk about somebody's house or something like that, always criticizing somebody's cooking, or like to talk about cooking, or like to talk about decorating houses or something like that, or always talking about going in someone's houses and not liking something in someone's houses, or not feeling comfortable with expressing certain things. Like, if you're around a person who always talking about things like this, 9 times out of 10, this is a Mercury in the 4th house. This person likes to talk about home. If they far away, they like to talk about home. If they at home, they like to talk about homes, or how to get into situations that's dealing with home. You may be around a person who always talk about they about to get a house, they about to get an apartment, they about to get this, they about to get that, they about to get this, they about to get the apartment, they about to get this for the apartment, even if they ain't got the house yet, about to get this TV for the house, things like this. This probably a Mercury in the Mercury in the 4th house. See what I'm saying? Now, let's say you're around a person that express themselves and may talk too damn much. And that might be how they express themselves. They may talk too damn much, and they may always look like they thinking, always look like they analyzing, and can't wait to start a conversation with somebody, and things of that nature. Says a person who always like to talk about their creative endeavors, their creativity, things they like to creatively do. Say you're around a person who always like to talk about the things that they're entertained by, or to talk about entertaining things, or they may be a very entertaining talker. You know what I'm saying? This may be a very expressive, upbeat kind of talker. You know what I'm saying? A person who like to express themselves the way that when they talk. A person who and these people like to analyze and think and communicate about children, or learning certain things, or inspiration, or expression in general. You know what I'm saying? Expressing that they like to communicate. You know what I'm saying? And they may express that they may need forms of communication from you if you're not a highly communicative person. You know what I'm saying? If you're around a person like this, 9 times out of 10, this is a Mercury in the 5th house. You're talking to a person who got Mercury in the 5th house. These are people who come around and be like, damn, why everybody quiet? You know what I'm saying? And then they want to talk about entertaining things and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And uplift the room. Say you're around a person who always want to talk about, they always talking about work. They always talking about what's on the schedule. They always talking about details. They always criticizing someone. They always criticizing what a person wearing, how a person do things. Say you're around a person who always but they always like to talk about work and what's going on at work, or they like to talk about what they're working on. Especially if a person working on something. You ever been around a person that's working on something? They might have been working on something for years, but every time you see them, that's what they talking about. Like, man, yeah, I was working on this. I'm working on that. I'm working on this. That and the third, or whatever like that. Person always analyzing, criticizing somebody else or what they working on. You know what I'm saying? Or and then they come across like they trying to help, like they trying to give advice, but sometimes they go too far with it, and they use their mouth for things of that nature. If you're around a person like this, 9 times out of 10 you're around a Mercury in the 6th house person, or you may just be this Mercury in the 6th house person. You see what I'm saying? Say you're around a person who always like to talk about relationships, always like to relate to people. That's their main thing. They like the way they communicate. They like relating to people. So these are people who will even succumb the way they originally communicate with people for the sake of compromising and communicating with others in a certain way. You see what I'm saying? Say you're around a person who's always talk about their pleasures. Say they like to talk about materialistic things a lot of times, though. You know what I'm saying? But they like to talk about their pleasures, talk about their relationships all the time. They may like to talk about sex a lot. You know what I'm saying? These people may jump fast into relationships a lot, and then they always got a story to tell you. They always calling you, talking about a person that they was just dealing with, or even they like to play games and things of that nature when it comes to relating to people, places, and things, and even relationships in general. If you're around a person like this, 9 times out of 10, you're around a person with Mercury in the 7th house. These people love to think, communicate, and analyze about love, balance, how to be fair. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of times they may not do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? But they like to talk about it, and that's what put them in relationships with others. Because when conversations like that is had, those are highly relatable conversations. So even when people are not into serious relationships and just like to have fun, it'll be perfect for a person with a Mercury in the 7th house, because these are things that they can communicate about in the open. Now, say you're around a person who always like to, sometimes they may not even talk. They always seem like they're reserving or observing. But every time they do talk, they always going too deep, or they always reaching beneath the surface or something. And sometimes shit might be surface level. Shit might not even be that deep, but this person got a deep annotation behind it. They got a yin realm perspective behind it, a behind the scenes realm of reality behind it. Say you're around a person, and then this person might always think that somebody got an alternative motive. You know what I'm saying? A person could be just basically could be in front of this person just wanting to have a conversation. This person may think like or may even say things like, man, why this person having a conversation with me? Like, I don't know why this person must be up to something. This person always got an alternative motive. Then this person always and then when you do have a conversation with this person, say this person always want to talk and think about mysticism, or always want to talk about occult type things, like, you know what I'm saying, like occult, like connections and secret groups, or even groups in general, like religions and things of that nature, like legions. That's occult type things. Or this person always want to talk about deep things, or sex, or life and death. And when I say life and death, I just mean just putting death to things and bringing life to things, like transforming situations. You know what I'm saying? Like this person, so it may come out like this person always talking like, oh, you need to stop something to start doing this, or y'all need to transform that way of thinking, or forget about that way and think this way. You know what I'm saying? Or this person may talk passionately, or talk with a deep desire, or they talk like they got a deep motivation for something, or a deep passion to change, or to transform something in the world, or to transform people's ways of feeling about things, or things of that nature. And they like to think deep and analyze about greed, jealousy, occult, you know what I'm saying, or passion and desire, you know what I'm saying, and even astrology to a certain degree, or all things that's behind the scenes, or taboo that people don't usually bring to the surface. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, you talking to a motherfucking person with a Mercury in the 8th house. And ding, 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 I bet y'all can guess right now what the fuck I'm doing, and what the fuck do I always do, and what my mind is always on. Mercury in the 8th house type shit. So, boom, off the back, I'm a Mercury and North Node in the 8th house. Now, when we want to talk about, and then my 8th house lords, both of them is in the Well, my 8th house, we ain't gonna get into all that. Let's go on. All right, boom. Now, when we want to talk about motherfucking, like, say you're around a person who always want to communicate like they got more wisdom than you, or the way they think and communicate and analyze, they talk like they have been through a lot of experiences. Like, this person may talk like they went through a lot of even if they haven't. Just the way they talk and come off, they off the back know how to relate to the experiences you went through. They off the back, they got like a sense of wisdom of all experiences. So it's like they talk like they've been through a lot, or they talk like they know a lot about experiences. And say this type of person always putting meaning and reason into things. Like, some things might not have no reason to it. It may just happen to you because that's the energy you carrying. But you know what I'm saying, this person may add another reason and meaning to it. Say this person always adding broad philosophical point of views to things. They always adding God to things. They always adding spirituality, or they may disregard religion and God, but the way they do it, they let it be known that that's what they're doing. Like, they're either all for it or they're extremely against it. Ain't no middle ground. You see what I'm saying? Or say it's a person that a person who you always around, they like to give you wisdom and give you knowledge, or always like to talk about their educational level or what they have learned in life or something like that. 9 times out of 10, you talking to a Mercury in the 9th house person. See what I'm saying? Say you're around a person, I know y'all already guessed on the pattern, but I just, my spirit just want to finish it. You know what I'm saying? So say you talking to a person, and you already know there's going to be Mercury in the 10th house, but say you're talking to a person who always talking about status, always talking about who this person think they is. This person think, they think this person on this person dick, or this person is all that, or a person always talking about what they're known for and how they're seen by others, or how they think, or how they feel, or how they look at others, or they talking about, always talking about status, or always talking about how to get from point A to point B, or always talking about how to stabilize their life, or always talking about who popular or who not, or their mind is always fixated on the popular thing. Like, these people like to think like something's not even going to be respected to the full degree if it don't have the accolades that normally people respect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're coming into a realm of reality where things is coming closer to my nature, where it's going less air, earth, but more fire, water, but being analyzed from an air way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going into the age of Aquarius. And what I mean by that is, see, why I said the world is coming more to my likeness now, because it doesn't matter how many views or how many accolades or how much money or whatever you got. If the message is potent, that means more than anything. So it could be a person with 50 subscribers next to a person who's doing things in this new age that's filtered into the light. Now, information in this new age of Aquarius, is getting filtered through the light of an Elohim that's trying to create portals. And this illusion that you see now is you got is going through the technologies and electric and the new information and the new technologies now. So that's where the sun is filtering this new information of age being Aquarius. So now you have people who may have 1,000 or 100,000 subscribers, or 100,000 people, but it may be only 200 or 300 people out of that 100,000